Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. You know, I'm feeling a bit stiff this morning. I've been doing some training. Get over to my Man Like Robbie channel. You can see my fitness program, my pre-season that I'm doing at the moment, and I'm feeling really stiff this morning, I'll tell you. But you know what, right? What I wanted to talk about first of all is the first game of the season is on the 14th of August. That ain't even that far away. I mean, I was looking at the calendar yesterday. I was like, yo, you know what? The season ain't that far away. It's like a month away. And we still don't have that striker signed. No striker. And who's going to be the player that starts the first game of the season? And I was thinking about it. I mean, at the moment, there's two strikers at the club. The only strikers at the club at the moment are Chuba Akpom, who went on loan last year to Hull. It was a good loan deal because Hull won promotion, but he didn't play week in, week out, and he's never scored a senior goal, you know, in a Premier League game for Arsenal before. So that's one option. The other option is Yaya Sanogo, who again has not impressed since he's been at Arsenal. Been out on loan, been poor out on loan really. Was out on loan at Charlton last season. That's the other option. Theo Walcott, of course, who I suppose you could play down the middle. You know, we know the problems that Theo's had last year. Theo didn't even make it into the England squad after featuring in that squad for a very long time. And then, of course, there's Olivier Giroud. Now, Olivier Giroud has just finished the tournament where he's got to the final. He hasn't had a rest yet, so I presume now, you know, Arsene Wenger's giving all of those players that were in the Euros 3 weeks off. So he'll have 3 weeks holiday. That means he'll come back just before the start of the new season. He's going to need to then be doing like a pre-season to get himself match ready because, you know, it's not like my pre-season that I'm doing over in my videos. These guys have got to be sharp and, you know, really, really ready to go for that first game. And they're up against Liverpool in the first game. And we all know that Jurgen Klopp, you know, the way he sets up his teams, high energy. And, you know, Liverpool are already playing friendlies. I think they played Fleetwood Town last night. So they're already playing games. It's really worrying. We still haven't got that striker in place yet for that first game. What are we waiting for? I mean, I know we tried to get Vardy and that fell through. But I'm a bit worried about the situation because for that first game, we may not have that mainline striker. Even Alexis Sanchez, who could possibly play in that position, you know, for the first game or first couple games, we saw that ankle injury that he's got. I'm not sure looking at that he's going to be ready for the first game of the season because that's probably still going down and he's got to do a pre-season, get fit. It's really worrying for me and we really, really need to hurry up and get our business done. It's just not good enough at the moment, I feel, the way in which Arsenal just seem to be just, you know, just pacing around from target to target. Yeah, all right, maybe that, maybe this. We should have had a definite idea of who we wanted. If Vardy fell through, right, we go immediately for him. If he falls through, we go immediately for him. It just seems at the moment to be all over the place, particularly when it comes to that vital player that we need. And remember, we haven't just needed a striker from this season. We've needed a striker for the past couple seasons. Surely we've got an idea of who we want. And then we'll go and get him. Now, rant over. Oh, calm down, Robbie. Calm down. Rant over. Mario Icardi again linked with Arsenal today. Now, the Icardi rumour, it seems to be, I don't know what's going on up there at Inter Milan with Mario Icardi. There's his wife, who's his agent. Now, she and the club seem to be right at loggerheads. She put out another statement again yesterday saying that, listen, there's clubs that have shown an interest in Icardi, and she quotes Arsenal and Tottenham as being two of the clubs that have inquired about Mario Icardi. So it looks like Arsenal are definitely interested in him. And she's still sort of angling for a move for Icardi. Whereas the club, they're saying no, Icardi's not going nowhere. He signed a new deal last year. Icardi's contracted to Arsenal. The manager, Roberto Mancini, remember him, he used to be at Manchester City. He's saying, listen, I don't read newspapers. I don't watch TV. All I'm doing is concentrating on the season ahead. Mario Icardi's training. He's training well. He's looking forward to the new season. He's our new captain. And it just seems to be a real mess over there at the moment. Mainly because, as I said, his wife really doesn't seem happy with the whole setup at Inter. And she is, she's his agent as well. So surely she's talking for him as well. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that one. But Icardi, I think, would be a decent addition to Arsenal. I don't know what you guys think. I haven't really asked you yet about Icardi. What do you think? Do you think Icardi could be a great signing for Arsenal? Or do you think, no, we should be going after other better targets? Icardi does have a good goal-scoring record in Italy, where it's a very hard place, as I said, to score lots of goals. He is a good up-and-coming player. Could he be the answer for Arsenal? Arsenal been interested in him before. What about Lacazette? It's gone a bit quiet on Lacazette over the past couple of days. The rumours on Lacazette have again emerged today. French publication Le Progress. Le Progress. Arsene, Le Progress, right? But Le Progress have come out and they've said that the deal is back on. The Arsenal are about to make an improved offer of £42 million to try and get Alexander Lacazette. Now, again, it's all conflicting because you've heard from the president of Lyon saying that he's had no, offers or deals or anything come his way from Arsenal. There's other outlets that claim that Wenger's met Lacazette's representatives and that they're trying to get a deal done. Who knows? But Le Progress today saying that Arsenal readying a £42 million deal. As I said, I just want us to be, who are we going to get? Just be decisive, make a choice, get him, bring him in, or fail to bring him in, go on to the next target. But we're being told today, Lacazette again back on the Arsenal radar. Alvaro Morata, however, is starting to look like he will stay put at Real Madrid. More and more as you're reading into this, it's starting to look like Real Madrid are saying to themselves, well, you know what, we're going to keep hold of this guy. He's one of our own players. The money they want from him is humongous as well, and a lot of clubs are refusing to pay that. And it's said that Zinedine Zidane is the manager of Real Madrid, wants to keep Morata at the club, sees him as a very important part of what they're doing, see him as a player, because they've got that amazing front three, but if any of those are injured, and plus as well, how Zidane's looking at it as well is a similar thing. Gareth Bale, just at the Euros, played lots of games. Same with Cristiano Ronaldo at the Euros, played loads of games. For the start of the season, what sort of condition they're going to be and how fit they're going to be. Morata came back a bit earlier. Morata will be rearing to go. They've got Hesse as well. So there's talk that they want to hold on to Morata, which again, at the start of the transfer window, I was reliably informed that Morata was like our number one target. That was the guy that Wenger really wanted to sign. It looks like Morata is slipping away. That means another target down, another striker disappears. And who are we going to get? I mean, there's the Higuain thing, but crazy money flying around for him. There was the whole swap deal thing. There's rumours that Arsene Wenger was upset because, and also Napoli were upset because news of this swap deal came out. They were trying to keep it quiet. There's that rumour. There's other rumours that Napoli are saying not interested in no swap deal. They just want 80 million, and we know we're not gonna pay 80 mil for Gonzalo Higuain, a 28-year-old. Arsenal are not gonna pay it. I don't think they should pay it either. If you're gonna pay 80 million pound for a player, for me, then you go in for somebody like Aubameyang or somebody like that. I wouldn't, Griezmann, even though Griezmann just signed a new deal, but those would be the type of players I'd be looking at for that sort of money. Don't get me wrong, Higuain's a top player, but I'm just thinking age-wise, if you're going to spend that type of money, that is simply too much money. But, so who's the striker going to be? Who is that striker going to be? That is what we're going to have to wait and see. Rumour today of our ex-player wanting to return to the club. Another one. Looks like a lot of these players, they go off. They think his grass is greener on the other side. Go over there, find out that it's not. Then they're like, I wouldn't mind going back. This guy, I think, would be welcome back. It's not Robin van Persie, but this guy, I think, probably would be welcome back. And that's Thomas Vermaelen. Of course, Vermaelen, surprise move when he moved from Arsenal to Barcelona. He's been there for a couple of seasons, had a lot of injury problems. Excuse me. Got fit during last season, featured in the Euros, but still hasn't really featured much for Barcelona. Last season they went with PK. They also went with Jeremy Matthew or Javier Mascherano at the back. And now they've just gone out and bought Samuel Umtiti, who we saw at the Euros and looked very, very good for France. That's a great signing, by the way, by Barcelona. Whoever's doing their scouting, they've got that one spot on by what I saw in the Euros. So Thomas Vermaelen is looking like he's definitely going to be surplus to requirements. Now, Premier League teams definitely interested in him. He's 30 now. He's an experienced player. West Ham said to be very interested in him, but the rumours coming out of Barcelona is that Vermaelen would favour a move back to Arsenal. You know what? That wouldn't be a bad shout for me. I mean, you know, I always liked Vermaelen. The only thing I always thought about Vermaelen is he just lacked that bit of height. But leadership qualities he's got, alongside Koscielny, that would be a good partnership. Vermaelen back to Arsenal for around about 10 to 12 million pounds. For me, I think that would be better than, say, a Neven Subotic or somebody like that. I really wouldn't mind that at all. I'm going to put that to a poll as well. Would you have Thomas Vermaelen back at Arsenal, or do you think, you know what, the past is the past, see you later, mate? You know, I mean, you've had your time at the club, so time to say goodbye to you. But let me know in the poll. Couple of things just to talk about. The polls from yesterday. I did 2 polls yesterday. The first one was on Julian Draxler, and I asked the question: should Arsenal go out there and sign Julian Draxler? Do we need him? 55 million pounds he'll cost. Possibly we could convert him into a striker. Is he going to play out wide? We don't know. But 80% of you said yes. 80% of you would like to see Julian Draxler signed at Arsenal. Wolfsburg got no Champions League football next season. May want to cash in on him, but it's going to be very expensive. But 80% of you said yes, you would love to see Julian Draxler at Arsenal. And the second poll was about Thierry Henry. Now, of course, this whole thing about Thierry Henry, where Arsenal said to him, listen, you either take the job full time, working as a coach, you can't be doing this part time. Even though Arsene Wenger spent all of the summer, instead of doing transfers, working on beIN Sports. That's not full time, is it? Looking for targets and that. You're working for channels over in France and things like that. A little bit hypocritical, but anyway, I won't get into that now. But anyway, I asked the question: Thierry Henry, club legend, no longer going to be at the club. Rumours of West Ham, even, and Watford wanting to take him on as a coach. Bit of an own goal as far as I'm concerned. But the question was: were Arsenal right not to retain Thierry Henry as a coach of the youth team at Arsenal? 19% of you said yes. 81% of you said no. So that just shows me that was an own goal by Arsenal as far as I'm concerned. You know, by not keeping on Thierry Henry at the club. I still think that was such a bad decision, but hey, I don't run this club. I just support it. Right, now let's get into some of your comments. Naz Osman says Draxler would be a good signing. I'd have him at the club. But what happens to players like Iwobi? He deserves a chance, more than a chance. And that's interesting what he says there, because again, I've spoken to a few people at the club and they've said to me, Robbie, this year Iwobi is going to be in that first team. He's going to feature heavily. They got high hopes for Iwobi, and Iwobi, they definitely, and he was brilliant when he came in last season, to be fair. So yeah, what would happen to somebody like Iwobi if we bought a Julian Draxler? That is a very, very, very fair point. Unless we bought Draxler to play as a striker, as we said. Then you've also got to consider Arsenal's injury record. This is the other thing. I mean, a lot of times we keep talking about, yeah, but we've already got a player there. Let's remember our injury record, our Arsenal's history over the last 10 years when it comes to injuries. For me, buy more than what you need, right? Lifo Fedi says, Giroud leaving would be an early Christmas present. He's not exactly a fan of Giroud. IL Saab says, 80 million, why are we not buying Pogba? That's a fair point. Pogba, although he didn't plays best in the Euros, especially in the final games. But I still think he's a great player. Not £100 million worth, but 80 million. Yeah, that's a shout. That's a shout there. Kalila says, I would not have trouble with Wenger not buying quality players if he gave the youth strikers a chance to develop in the first team. Well, you might see that, mate. He said, if you will not do that, then buy another half-decent striker, young striker, like somebody like Berahino, who has a different style to Giroud and would cost a lot less than the Higuains, Lukaku's or Lacazette of this world. But he's not as good as them. That is, as far as I'm concerned, he's not in that grade. Nowhere near the Higuain grade for starters. Let's get one more in here. Sir Jason 56 said, I would only take Draxler if we sign a striker in the form of Lacazette, Icardi, Chicharito or Higuain. I probably want a world-class centre-back such as Varane or Chima Jimenez as a priority over a winger like Draxler. We're pretty stacked up front if we get the striker, but we're very, very light at the back. Good points. They're all good points. Let's hope Arsene Wenger's taken them in, and let's see what happens. Hopefully, we should be getting an interview today with Santi Cazorla. I might try and see if I can get a cheeky question in there about transfers. They probably won't answer, but I'll try my best. Don't forget as well to check out a brand new channel, Man Like Robbie. Get over there and see my pre-season that I'm doing. Also join in as well. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily, and we'll be back right about the same time tomorrow.